Chapter 8, Afraid Friendship. "This has to be it!" Sage yelled again. "The river we are on now is the Amazon, and that must be the River Negro," she explained. "See how that river is darker than the Amazon? For a while, the waters don't mix. They flow separately, side by side." Russell's eyebrows tightened. How did Sage know something like that? Mari must have wondered the same thing because she asked. "It's all my sister," Sage confessed. She did a whole science fair project on erosion in American rivers. Don't ask, she's a whiz. Whenever it rains, which is a lot, the rainwater carries soil and nutrients into the water, Javier said. That's where the color comes from. It's the same with the Amazon River, but it's greener. As if on cue, it started to drizzle. It had been so muggy, the rain felt good. "So?" Dev said, looking at their guide. "Is this it?" "I can't tell you. Maybe you should reread the clue." Dev did just that, cringing again at the bad rhymes. Then everyone started looking for the flags that greet. Sage and Dev searched on one side. Mari and Russell searched the other. Russell soon noticed several pennant-shaped flags with the wildlife logo. The flags marked a path leading up from the muddy beach. The larger, faster motorboat was already there. "At least there's only one boat," Dev pointed out. "We're probably in second place." They hadn't seen any of the other teams since the start of the race, so they hadn't had any idea what place they were in. "It's not over yet," Sage said, splashing her rubber boot into the river before the boat had reached the shore. Russell sprang out next, landing in the muck. Dev and Mari followed. "Good luck," Javier called out. The four kids turned and waved before charging up the stone-lined path. When they reached the crest of the hill, they found that the ground dropped again immediately. A deep gully cut through the land, with a ribbon of water the color of chocolate milk at the very bottom. "How are we supposed to cross this?" Mari wondered out loud. "There's another pennant over there." Dev pointed downstream, and the group jogged along, the narrow ridge forcing their way through the lush growth. Sage crouched down as soon as she reached the point across from the flag. "No way!" she hissed. The rest of the team gathered around. Russell couldn't believe it either. The green team cut the rope bridge so no one else could cross. Dev said as he looked at the far side of the gully. "That hardly seems sportsmanlike." Russell could see the frayed stubs of thick, grayed rope dangling down the far side of the ditch. "That's the only explanation I can think of," Sage answered, lifting up the other end of the bridge. The wooden slats clacked against the dirt wall when she let go. Russell still didn't believe it. Would his friend seriously pull something like that? This was all his fault. If he hadn't been foolish enough to let them track him, they'd never have been in the lead in the first place. Now it was up to him to find another way to get his team across. "It's steep, but we could slide down, wade through the water, and climb up the other side," he suggested. "That is not an option," Mari said with uncommon certainty. "There are piranhas down there." "I know they aren't usually that dangerous to humans, but that's a shallow stream bed where there are not a lot of food options. That's a desperate scenario for piranhas, and us." Russell gulped, then glanced around. His gaze traveled up the trees and across to the other side. "The vines," he said. "We can swing across." "Seriously?" Sage said. "You've seen too many adventure movies." "You got a better idea?" Russell had already looked up and down the gully. It didn't seem to have a beginning or end. We don't want to get off the path with the flags. Come on, he said, tugging on one of the thick vines that twisted itself around a high branch. Not that one, Dev insisted, his gaze assessing the vine, the ditch, and the far bank. It's set too far back. With that angle, it'll drop us in the middle of the stream. We need one closer to the edge. He took several paces, his eyes focused high in the branches. One like this. Dev flung the vine across the expanse. The vine's tail dragged briefly on the other side. Russell, Sage, and Mari stared as the vine traveled back. It's the best we'll get, Dev said, his voice confident. I'll go first. Russell held the lower part of the vine as Dev found his grip. Ready? Mari shielded her eyes. Set, Dev said, and Russell grabbed Dev at the hips. Russell took a step back and then ran forward and gave a firm shove. When he let go, Russell swore part of him kept going across that open gully, still on the vine with Dev. As if he had timed it perfectly, Dev released at the exact moment the vine reached the height of its swing. He landed in a heap, but he didn't look hurt. Ah! Squealed Sage. Dev, are you okay? She was jumping up and down for joy. It's kind of fun, Dev declared, pushing himself off the ground. Mari had just managed to open her eyes. He made it? She asked. He made it, Sage said, and you're going next. Creature feature, Piranha. Scientific name, multiple species. Family, Characeae. Type, fish. Range, South American streams and rivers. Food, mostly fish, snails, and insects, but also plants and seeds, or sometimes birds or mammals. There are many species of piranhas, but they all have one thing in common. They're sharp, triangular teeth. With its powerful jaws, the piranha can chomp a mouthful of meat with ease. The fish usually hunt alone. Group attacks are more likely in the dry season when water levels and food options are low. Despite their reputation, deadly piranha attacks on humans are rare.